Charles, we're back here in Washington Square Park.
We are indeed, and technically we're actually north by northwest in Washington Square Park.
That's why you selected this corner. Because there was some confusion initially. I was hanging out over there with the Hare Krishnas behind that tree. Are they still playing? Yeah, I think I hear the drums.
Yeah, they're there, yeah.
So there's been some improvement since last week, Charles. As I walk around, some businesses are removing the wood. We're down one filthy hippie from the middle of the fountain.
Right, exactly.
So that's a move in the right direction.
But I think the filthy hippie team is now living, you see where that tower is over there? That's a left-leaning think tank over there, which when the rioters come back out, they have lawyers available to help you.
I thought that's a church.
Judson Memorial, but there's also an institute in there. And there's a team of, I saw at least 2 or 3 people with all of their shit sprawled out on the steps of that building. And they probably took it from the center of Washington Square Park and put it over there.
Wow. You know, before we began, somebody in the comments was asking, what do you think all this is going to do to municipal bonds? I don't know anything about municipal bonds.
It's going to crush municipal bonds and government bonds issued by states and localities in the high-tax, riot-prone, anarchy-infested.
You got to pay extra for that.
No, I mean, nobody in his or her right mind would buy a New York State or a New York City bond today. I mean, you don't know the future, you do know the present, you know people are moving out of the city and the state in droves. I saw a report that as many as 500,000 people have moved out of a city of like 9 million. And those are people probably paying decent taxes, income taxes, maybe property taxes, but certainly sales taxes and parking taxes and just,
buying things, yeah.
There's little traffic in the hotels. The hotels charge very high extra taxes on your bill. There's no traffic in the restaurants to speak of. And when's it going to improve? I mean, most of the people who moved out are economically literate, leaving behind the people who are dependent on government and prone, like AOC, to agitate for communism. And so as I say, your brain damage. If you want to have something that is relatively safe and that will do well in the environment, and I'm not making an investment recommendation, but I'm just telling you what I am looking at is gold and gold stocks. Gold stocks because they pay a dividend. Gold itself is tricky to own.
Too heavy?
It can be.
It's inconvenient, really. I mean, if you have a lot of it.
Well, you're also taxed, if you buy physical gold, you're taxed on as if you have ordinary income on it. So you can't get the dividend exclusion that you get on stocks. And there are also big bid-ask spreads on gold. So you think you're buying it close to the market price. In fact, the intermediary is taking a bite out of you when you buy it and a bite out of you when you sell it. And depending on your location, you pay sales tax.
So basically, bullets and desiccated food are going to be the better.
That's, I think, the way to go,
investment. Yeah. Well, so Charles, one of the things I think that we should do is kind of walk around. I've been making a concerted effort to not leave the apartment this week. I just am feeling like almost every time I've been out recently, there's some kind of confrontation, and it's become really dangerous. It's good to see that the park is back under control, although there is a ton of graffiti over here that they haven't really addressed.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it says F12 on the other side, FTP, Frederick
Stolen
Douglass
lands.
Square. Right. And I tell you, I saw a really upsetting video last night, Charles. It was in Baltimore.
Oh yeah, Christopher Columbus.
They pulled down the Christopher Columbus statue. It shattered when it hit the ground. They threw it in the lake or whatever.
It's outrageous.
Right. And I mean, if you hate America so much, you definitely should leave. But if you're here and you want to destroy it and overthrow it, then you should be treated like an insurgent and like a foreign invading military, right?
Yeah.
So here, right over here, they've painted
Fuck 12 since 1492. It's outrageous.
I don't understand why they haven't, cleared that off better.
Well, it's really a sad thing. It's testament to the fact how poor our educational system is. If you're going to attack George Washington, you haven't read, one word about George Washington if you're going to get in his face. I mean, here's a person who, is credited with winning the Revolutionary War, who could have been king. and who instead chose to go back to Virginia. When the Articles of Confederation period did not work between 1782 and 1789, he reluctantly came back into public service. And again, he was offered any title he wanted. He was elected unanimously. Nobody since then has ever been elected unanimously. And forget the Electoral
Fidel
College
Castro?
and Kim Jong-un in this country. He accomplished tremendous things. I mean, remember, slavery had been prevalent around the world for thousands of years. I would guess from the beginning of time there has been slavery. And going from a period in 1789 when the Constitution first was adopted to 1865, we managed to eliminate slavery in this country. The first major country to get that done legislatively. Now, at great cost in the Civil War and at great cost during the lives of the slaves inside this country. But to look at that and say, that's not good enough. I mean, what do people want us to do? Should we have just stayed a colony of the British Empire? Is that the idea? I mean, it's just insanity.
It's very upsetting. And I will say, I thought it was a very good speech that Trump gave at Mount
For this guy here, he's
And,
real trouble.
Yeah. I also thought it was hilarious that he's basically saying, you want to crush statues? We're going to make 30 more.
Yeah, 30 more. It's going to be. It's got a
Did he say
gigantic park.
30? I thought 30 statues or 30
No,
acres.
that's to start. 30
Oh,
to
wow.
start. And do you want to go that way, or do you want to
Well,
go?
that's
that?
fine. Let's go this way.
Okay. Yeah, it's. We don't know yet how big the park is, but of course it's a brilliant idea. Let's create a park people can visit, that you can learn about the various and sundry people selected part and their accomplishments and their time.